Hello everyone, and today we got our hands on a portable audio interface from the company Comica, namely a model called ADCaster C2. The whole thing is supplied in such a package, where the mixing console itself is depicted on the front side, and the main characteristics are indicated on the back side. Well, let's start unpacking. After opening the box, you will find in the package user manual, warranty card, quality certificate, USB-C to USB-C connecting cable with USB-A adapter, a separate cable for charging USB-A to USB-C, two identical auxiliary TRRS-TRRS cables for connecting a smartphone or other source of any sound, for example, both output and input in this device, and of course the Comica ADCaster C2 audio mixer itself. Audio interface, what is it and why is it needed? An audio interface is a device that functions as an audio card, allowing you to record and mix sound from different sources, and then transfer it to a computer, camera, smartphone, or directly to a stream podcast. The main purpose of such devices is to connect microphones, including those that require phantom power. The main connectors of the device are located on the back panel. Let's consider them in order. Power key. There is a built-in 2900 mAh battery, which provides up to 6 hours of autonomous operation. According to my tests, one charge is enough for about 8 hours of operation with one microphone and 48-volt phantom power. This allows you to use the device in the field with a smartphone and professional microphones. It is also possible to work from a power bank via USB Type-C, which gives almost unlimited possibilities for autonomous use. The Bluetooth 5.3 switch allows you to connect a smartphone as an input source. Via Bluetooth, you can stream music or receive calls during podcasts and streams. However, it is worth considering that the signal is transmitted via Bluetooth with a delay, and this can be critical in some scenarios. USB Type-C port for charging, which allows the device to work continuously when connected to an external battery or power adapter. USB Type-C port for connecting to a computer, laptop, or tablet. Interestingly, via USB Type-C, you can not only input sound, but also output it as 48 kHz with a depth of 24 bits. However, this will require the use of special programs such as Cubase or Pro Tools, as well as the installation of the appropriate driver. USB Type-C also supports simultaneous reception and transmission of a mixed signal. For example, you can transfer a track from a laptop to ADCaster C2, mix it with voice or instruments, and send it back to the computer for recording or live broadcast. However, with Bluetooth, such a scenario is impossible. Here, either transmission or reception of the signal. Two output channels, Out 1 and Out 2, mini jack 3.5 mm, which allow broadcasting to different devices, for example, one to a smartphone and the other to a laptop. A connector for connecting external speakers, mini jack 3.5 mm. There is an AUX input, also mini jack 3.5 mm, for connecting smartphones, tablets, and laptops. Then there are two combined XLR/jack 6.3 mm inputs for microphones and instruments. Additionally, a jack 3.5 mm connector is provided for the second input. XLR inputs support three modes: instrument input, connection of a dynamic microphone, and a condenser studio microphone with 48-volt phantom power. A switch is provided for switching power modes for each XLR input. On the front panel, there are two headphone outputs. Mini jack 3.5 mm allow you to conduct a podcast together, monitoring the sound in real time, which is very convenient. Now let's talk about ADCaster control. Here on the front panel, there are signal level indicators for XLR inputs, AUX, output signal, and monitoring. It also displays the battery level and phantom power status on a particular input. There is also a Bluetooth icon, which, if lit, means that a Bluetooth device is connected. Since the main thing here is two XLR inputs, there is a separate adjustment for each of these inputs. These are faders for gradual signal adjustment and additional signal amplification from these sources. There is also an equalizer with high, mid, and low frequency settings. However, it is applied to all inputs at once, which is inconvenient if different sources are connected to different XLR ports. For example, a microphone and an instrument. This is a minus. The signal level that comes from USB-C, Bluetooth, or AUX is adjusted by a separate AUX knob. And yes, all three sources are adjusted simultaneously, which is also not very convenient. However, the sources have their own adjustment, so this can be bypassed. The overall level of the mixed output signal is set using the Out knob. Using the central knob, the largest on the body, we adjust the signal level in the headphones and monitors. Around the regulator there are effect buttons. Some of them are touch-sensitive, and some are physical. Of the touch-sensitive buttons, I can say that Auto-Tune is something strange. The voice sounds unnatural, distorts the voice, and in practice this function is of little use. Next is scene. Here are various reverb effects, that is, presence in a certain room. The reverb level can be set using a separate reverb regulator. There are 6 effects here that can be useful for musical instruments, simulating presence on stage, or vocals. The next effect is pitch. Changes the pitch of the voice. You can make the voice of a child, a monster, a robot, and others. A funny function, but in practice it is unlikely to be in demand. And the next effect is electron. There are 12 tonalities. They adjust the voice to a certain tonality. To be honest, I do not quite understand why this is needed. All effects that are set using touch buttons are applicable only to the signal that comes into the XLR inputs. Keep this in mind. About physical buttons. Music only is a function for removing vocals from a track, but it is important to note that it only works with the auxiliary signal. Dry sound disables all special effects that you have set up on this device with this one button. Loopback allows you to return the audio signal back to the device, useful for broadcasts. Ducking theoretically should reduce the volume of background music during a conversation, but for some reason it did not work for me with different signal sources. Denoise, noise suppression filter, works roughly, without the ability to adjust the suppression level, which can distort the voice. Mute button turns off the sound. Well, the next function that will be appreciated by fans of streams and live broadcasts is 8 pads, 4 of which are already programmed and cannot be rewritten, and 4 re-recordable pads. That is, we press the button starts blinking. Recording has started, and you have 15 seconds to record something. Well, and also 4 programmable pads: applause, laughter, greeting, and funny. Overall, the ADCaster C2 left mixed impressions. On the one hand, it has convenient features, Bluetooth, a built-in battery, and phantom power, which makes it mobile. On the other hand, some things seem unfinished. The equalizer is applied to all inputs at once, not all functions work correctly, and noise reduction is not implemented in the best way. This is not a professional audio interface, but for streaming and blogging tasks, it is a decent budget solution. And that's all from me. You can buy it using the link in the description. Thank you all for watching. Good luck to everyone. Bye everyone. Ciao.